Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Please bear with me. I am in a makeshift studio to bring the show to you. I am in New York City. So let's hope everything works out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Let's get to Takara. Tucker said, who ready? Hit the like button. SL says hello. Takara says, am I saying that? Takara Tucker says, hey, SL. Pisces Unicorn said, hello. If there are any Pisces in the building, it's our season. And happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. Kenny Black says, we appreciate your dedication, Judge. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Tanya Kelly says, hello, everyone. And Angelia says hello, everyone. Now we're going to figure out how we can stop me from disappearing, but let's get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another explosive session of Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Now tonight, we have a docket full of scandals, legal drama, and jaw-dropping allegations that will have you clutching your pearls. From mysterious deaths and music industry corruption to stolen money, superstar lawsuits, and influencers gone rogue. This is the courtroom where the people decide, and you, our viewers, will help us decide tonight. Is justice just being served, or is power, privilege, and money tipping the scales? Let's get into the cases, but before we do, let's introduce our all-star cast of Legal Beagles. First up, she's back. That civil legal attorney, that fiery civil legal attorney, Shatan Turner. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, Your Honor. Glad to be back. Happy Monday. I know you were busy over the weekend.
Yes, ma'am. Very busy. And for the algorithms who don't know, I have moved back to Washington, D.C., and I found an apartment finally. So you get to maybe, witness my move in here. All right, joining the one and only Shatan Turner, we have humorist at law, Sean Carter. I'm just laughing thinking about what you can ready to say. Sean Carter, welcome to the Celebrity Court of Public Opinion.
Thanks, Your Honor. I promise I'm just going to be strictly business. I'm not going to say anything crazy at all. You believe me?
Absolutely not. And would not have you on here if you were serious. All right, next up, shit they didn't teach you in law school author, Jason Weiss. Jason Weiss, the show wouldn't be the same without you. Everybody, please drop in the chat the shield emoji for the one and only Jason Weiss. Welcome back, Attorney Weiss.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am so happy to be here.
All right, don't forget that fire emoji for that fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. That clown emoji for the one and only Sean Carter, who keeps us in stitches. And don't forget to drop that daggone fax machine down in the chat for me, your host. All right, first up.
Hey, Your Honor, is it Jason's birthday? Danielle Cameron is saying it's Jason's birthday in the chat. Is she right?
Uh-oh. Jason, is there something that she know that we don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, birthday.
It's your birthday.
Thank you.
It's your birthday?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, you got to tell us that because we would definitely celebrate that. Happy birthday. So how long have you been 20?
Yeah, right. It's like my it's like my 29th anniversary of being 20.
I love it. I met you.
She knows everything.
I know this woman is on it.
My daughter posted it on Instagram, and Danielle and I are friends on IG, and I just sent her her book, so she's got to be on the lookout.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Attorney White.
Thank you.
The show wouldn't be the same without you. We really appreciate your contribution, and happy birthday. Thank you so much. I met you when you were in your 20s, though.
Yes, you did.
All right, everybody. First up, we have a case that has the streets and the industry buzzing with conspiracy theories. R&B legend Angie Stone tragically passed away in a car crash just days. Yep, you heard me right. Just days after she accused Universal Music of withholding her royalties. Per Angie Stone, she don't know where her royalties are and why she has not been receiving them, but they've been going to Universal Music. Was this just a tragic accident, or is there something more sinister at play? All right, I'm going to go to you, Attorney Turner. Hold on. Oh. 1 second before we show the video, please. I'm going to go to you, Attorney Turner. And before, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's come back to it after we take a little look of her allegations. But this is a question that I want to know. Can Universal Music face lawsuits from other artists, including Angie, on behalf or by her family for financial fraud? Bailiff, let's see her allegations now, please.
After 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people.
All right, really quickly, Attorney Turner, I do want to share this. There's some discrepancy here. Class action suits, that's not how it works. Class actions are groups of people coming together to sue Universal Music, but we're going to let her have that one. Attorney Turner, let's go back to the original question. Does this open up the floodgates for Universal Music facing lawsuits from other artists and even Angie's family for financial fraud based on her allegations?
First, I want to just give a moment of recognition to the talent that Angie Stone had. Oh my goodness. I remember the first time I heard her voice, and I just learned and preparing for the show that she sang the theme song for the show Girlfriends. I don't know how I couldn't tell before then, but she did. She was one of those people who just kind of exuded cool when she first came out. And then she was dating D'Angelo before he gained weight. It was amazing chemistry, right? So I'm a fan. It's a tragedy that she died too soon, and my regards for her family. Now, as it relates to your question, there's a lot to unpack with how artists don't get their compensation that they believe they're due. So she made some assertions that somehow she was defrauded in the application of her rights to songs when they were filed. And there wasn't enough in the video to really identify what song she was talking about, at what stage in her career she was talking about. But what she said was that they weren't properly registered. Her rights weren't properly registered. And so what she's alleging is that the percentages that she received were less than they ought to have been, because she was not listed in the proper place on the record. So as you know, there are recording rights that attach, there are producing rights, there are all of these different rights. And for each of those categories, whoever did that work gets money. So I'm not really sure what her specific complaint was about, except for she's saying it was done wrong. And what she alleges was that the wrong was not an accident, it was intentional. And so if somehow she's able to show that she didn't say which company she dealt with that made the mistake, so I don't know, but if she's saying that there was like some broad sweeping fraud to defraud artists and not give them credit, well, sure, if her family could uncover that there was such a thing, then they might be able to bring the issue to light for all of these other artists. What I would say, though, is that it's extremely unlikely that there would be a class action for that, because there's so many different reasons why the artists might not have gotten their due. They could have had negotiated contracts, right? They could have
taken a draw on their advances because they needed money before the advances came.
Well, but before that, like, she may have believed she produced it, but maybe she wasn't like the executive producer. So there are all of these things and how the rights were registered that would have resulted in her getting paid less. And then what you bring up is artists get paid after sales and after, like, when they go on tour, everybody else gets paid, and they might take a draw because they need to pay their rent or they need to pay their kids' tuition, and they forget, right? You get all these advances, and then you see the tour makes all this money, and you forgot that you took out, $250,000 in advance because you needed to live. And so,
the interest on that money, because it's not an interest-free loan.
Right. I think it's very important. I think you bring up a good point, Jason. Everybody has to understand, in the business game, you can make millions of dollars, but it's a business. They're going to charge you interest.
Yep.
They're going to, everything that you spend before you make is going to come back out of that money. Attorney Carter, can you lean in here and tell me? Now, I want everybody to know I love Angie Stone. I used to work with her back in the early 2000s. I find her to be an amazing talent. Her voice, like, basically, I want to say, was one of the voices that I was raised on, my generation. Like, and so I want to make sure we separate the legal from the emotional attachment that we have to the artist and the music. When you heard her complaint, what were your initial thoughts, Attorney Carter?
My initial thoughts, and it's been covered by the other attorneys here, was that there might have been some dispute with regard to the copyrights. So as you know, what happens is, and you guys all know this, but maybe some people in the audience don't, is that when songs are out and released, every time they play on the radio, every time you hear it in a supermarket, every time you hear it at a sporting event or whatever, there's a royalty that's paid. And it's usually paid to the people who own the recording rights and the songwriter. If they don't put you down as that person, you don't get the money, right? Because the ASCAP and BMI are just going to send the money to whoever is registered there. So I think that's what her complaint was. I wrote this song and you didn't give me credit for it. Oftentimes, though, there's contractual arrangements where you say, okay, you're going to get the producer sound, you're going to get the credit on this song, but not the credit on that song, etc. It's hard to know exactly what she was entitled to versus, all the expenses, etc. As far as whether other artists can bring this type of complaint, they do all the time. This won't start it. This will be just one of the thousands of people who have. And the thing that was interesting, some of the comments here said they were suspicious. First, Sam Cooke, let's see the comment here. No accident. Michael Jackson, Prince, Sam Cooke, and now Angie Stone. And it was interesting because I did a little research on this earlier today and found out she's not the first artist to suffer a fatal accident while in dispute with her record company.
Really?
Aaliyah.
Okay.
When she died in 2000, she was in the process of renegotiating her contracts. Left Eye. There you go. Absolutely. Sinead O'Connor. She died from something, an illness, but she was in the dispute. But here's the thing about it is, musicians are always in dispute. I also looked it up, and just about every musician has sued their label at some point or another for saying, I didn't get my money. Whether it's Lil Wayne, Snoop. Snoop actually had to buy Death Row Records to make sure he got his money.
Well, look, in the contracts, you're usually entitled to an accounting. So that's the first thing you ask for. You ask for an accounting, and if there's a discrepancy of more than 5%, the standard is that's going to be paid. And if it's more than 5%, then the record label has to not only pay you back, but also pay for the accounting and all of this. And a lot of times when they just blow it off, that's when the lawsuits come. But they usually have to start with that accounting. And a lot of times they don't really know what they're entitled to.
They don't really know. And I'm gonna say right there with you, Jason. So let's say that the evidence of her assertion suggests foul play. What legal options does Angie Stone's family have now that she has transitioned?
The estate has the absolute rights that she would have. The estate will step into her shoes and it will act as if it is her. So the representative or the executor, or depending on how her estate was set up, somebody will be there taking her exact place, and anything that she was entitled to will go to the estate, and then it will go ahead and trickle down. And
but how, this is my question, because what we found is a lot of these artists don't know what that means. They don't know what having a estate means and what their rights are. So if you were a family member of hers, any of the lawyers jump in here. If you were a family member of hers, what do you need to do right now to make sure you represent her in her best interest moving forward as it relates to her finances and her legal rights?
I would call Jason Weiss because he knows what's up. And I would have him in companion with an estate lawyer, right? Because you need to open the estate so that you preserve your rights. And then you need a lawyer that understands the intricacies of the record industry to try to get an accounting and to figure out whether or not she didn't get her due. One interesting thing for the algoriters too, and part of the reason she was probably talking about this concept of rights, is if you notice from Attorney Carter's description about who gets paid from like radio play, he didn't say anything about the singer, right? He talked about the copyright and he talked about who wrote it. And so the problem is that popular songs that are played on the radio, even though people don't listen to them as much anymore, if you're just the singer, you're kind of assed out. You're not getting a damn thing. And so that's why she's focused on how things were allocated to her, because just because her songs were popular didn't mean she got paid. Interestingly enough, right now, Boys to Men, who I hung out with this summer, let's just say, got pictures. Anyway, Boys to Men is actively trying to change this in the industry because they said they're not recording any more songs and they're trying to make sure that singers get their due. So they're trying to change it so that singers get a percentage for the airplay because of the way the industry works, and they think it's unfair.
Okay. Anything else we want to add here with Angie Stone? I do want to say condolences to Angie Stone's family. Her daughter completely, I'm sure, is, just taken out by this. And let's not forget her son. I never forget, we honored Angie Stone, and we're looking at the incident right here of the accident of her Sprinter. It flipped 3 times after being hit by an 18-wheeler. I want to say I honored Angie Stone when I was a board member at the Hill House, and her son gave the talk on why his mother was the most incredible mother that any young man could ever ask for. So once again, condolences and a shout out to Angie Stone and your family. Know that my prayers and everyone here on the panel, our hearts go out to you and your family. Thank you so much. All right. So algoriters, let me ask you this question. Do you believe Angie Stone's death was a tragic coincidence, or is there a history, like Attorney Carter said, of labels silencing artists who expose financial fraud? Let me ask the question again, algoriters. Drop down in the chat. Do you believe Angie Stone's death was a tragic coincidence, or is there a history, like Attorney Carter says, of labels silencing artists who expose financial fraud? All right, let's keep it going, everybody. Next, we're taking it to Atlanta. Oh my God, so much stuff is going on in Atlanta. And guess what? It's not about Portia and Simon, but we're going to go where family and finance just don't mix. Tamika Scott has accused her sister, Latasha, of stealing her $30,000 royalty check. Now, Latasha is asking for forgiveness, but is she really sorry, or just sorry that she got caught? All right, I'm gonna pass to you, Attorney Carter. This is a question that I have as it relates to this, and no one will ask this question. I don't understand why it's not done. Can Tamika legally demand her repayment, and if so, why hasn't she? Or is this just more of a civil dispute or a family dispute? Because Tamika's got legal options. Why?
Well, maybe not. That's actually, I think we might have a video here, because why we've been talking about this, she's gone viral recently by part of a TikTok trend where I guess everyone's singing to this Chris Brown song. And so she decided she was going to relitigate this thing that had been over for a couple of years and really bring it back out. And we have some of that song.
Took some time away, I had to sit and face it. Who can I run to? Feels like nobody lately. Reading through them comments, they say he having a baby. I don't know who's lying. Maybe I was blind. And of course I miss my sister. This a crazy feeling. But y'all know family shit be needing time for healing. Even in a marriage, ain't nobody perfect. But we've been split 2 years, and my heart is hurting. Gotta build me.
All right. I gotta be honest. Hold on, Attorney Scott. I gotta be honest. I felt like she spilled her heart right there. I felt like I feel like she was really being honest. But the fact that in the court of public opinion, there is a sister who's been done wrong, and the wrong needs to be right. Why don't you, if you feel like you've been done so wrong, then why don't you take legal action?
Two things. One, you might not be able to. If this happened several years ago and she knew about it and said at the time, I'm not going to fight about it. Maybe $30,000 didn't seem like a lot of money. Then she wasn't going to go to court. And by the way, you spend about $30,000 to get $30,000 back.
That's so true. That's so
right?
true.
And so, and she's waited too long, it could be over. The only thing that could save the lawsuit now is if she just found out about it. And I don't think that's the case. I think she's been talking about this for years. And so, I don't know if court's the right way to handle this. I don't know if TikTok is the right way to handle this. Maybe, there's another. I think if you have grandma and some chitlins, you probably could work this out.
All right, Attorney Ross, I'm going to throw to you real quick because you're our criminal attorney here. This is my question. All right, fine. I'll take it. But if she wanted to explore legal ramifications, is there a statute of limitation that has passed, or does Tamika still have legal recourse?
If she could get the police to investigate this, which I don't even think she could, right? It's really a civil matter because in all likelihood there was some sort of contract agreement, and when you take this to Fulton County Sheriff's Office, they're going to tell you it's civil. But in the world of imagination, if it could, the statute of limitation on that is 5 years. So
we're past that.
You're past that. The statute of limitations on civil theft in Georgia is from 1 to 20 depending on a lot of factors. In all likelihood, she's out too. I mean, she just didn't want to sue her sister, Judge. That's all it was. She just didn't want to sue her sister. You got the videos of the mom saying something. I think Attorney Carter's right. She just didn't want to go after her family. But then she's singing about it. Second thing I realized is I grew up listening to Xscape. I like them. They didn't used to look like that though. They've been going to the beautiful on the south side of Atlanta down there. That late night chicken. They look, okay.
Oh, Attorney Ross.
They didn't look like that. That little short life was my favorite one.
Sexist. Order in the court. He's such a sexist.
Go, big girl. What you gonna do? I like them though. Tamika, if you see it, don't get mad at me. You love me.
Go ahead, Attorney Ross. So okay, so my whole thing is, this is my thing. If you're not willing to do what it takes to get your money, going on and singing a song about it, going on press tours and talking about it, is all ego. It's all ego. Am I wrong? Attorney Turner, what are your thoughts on this?
One of the people said in the chat that they need Iyanla Fix My Life. I mean, I think that they do need some sort of family intervention. You bring up a part in the law that's called latches, Your Honor. And so that means that if you sleep on your rights, you can't expect the court to intervene on your behalf. And that's something that people bring up when someone's just waited way too long, like it's within the statute of limitations. But if you really had a claim, then why didn't you bring it up more timely? You didn't care about it, and therefore the court shouldn't care about it either. And I think there is something to that, but I agree with Brian. I mean, our Attorney Ross, doesn't he look handsome tonight?
Really? That's what we're doing tonight.
He does. But no, seriously, I have a sister, And I know that I would be reluctant to go after her, especially for $30,000. I mean, even with my current alimony payments I have to make, I still would sue my sister to get the $30,000, right? And so the problem here, though, is that the reason I wouldn't sue my sister is to preserve the relationship and the family. But it sounds like this relationship's broken anyway, since she's singing this song. Yeah, so, she would have been better off at least getting her money.
Right. Okay, so let's go to some of the comments because let's see how people are feeling. G says, if you're stealing from your own sister, I can't trust you to do business with, let alone have a cup of tea and biscuits. SL said, pay her. Tiffany HR said, I'm glad Tiny is having fun playing dress up with her friends. I cannot believe you said that, Tiffany HR. Jim says, well, the overall group can address her. She stole from the group, and allegedly it was way more than $30,000 separately. Pal said the sister that was wrong isn't the one who brought this back to life. It's the theft who did the residuals. And then I gotta share this right here because they are not having it. Abby NYC, the MM family says Ross's is no good.
Whoa.
I beat the shit said I missed what Ross said. An ad popped up. They on Ross's behind on here. I beat the shit said rob me. It's a wrap. I'll disown you. I think it says a lot to be robbed by your own family. So I understand the feelings there. Okay, so this is my question that I want to ask all of the lawyers on the panel. Now, is Latasha's public apology a smart PR move or a deflection from real accountability?
That's public account. I mean, probably both, right? I mean, what was her exact? What were her exact words?
She sang a whole damn song, bro.
I mean, but like I'm saying, like, is it like
what the pain feels like?
Yeah, there you go.
For me and my sister, we're gonna get it together. I'm reaching out.
You stole the money.
I don't have the answers. I found out about a $30,000 allegation when I watched TV with y'all. Did I take my sister's money? I did not. We were going through so much 10, 11 years ago together as a family. It was one of the things that I can't lie. We were both at our lowest. We didn't have money. We all lived with my mother. And that's something that, y'all will see on the show where we say that I didn't have anywhere to live. We didn't. And we pulled through. So when you talk about $30,000 that I don't know anything about, all I said is, can we get clarity about it? Because during that time, we both were helping one another. I just need clarity. What are you seeing? What are you saying? Because I have my receipts and you have yours. But we need to sit down as sisters and not go through this in the social media. Like on social media, it's not good. We need to sit down and figure out what this is because we can get through anything.
She got a little something there.
Look at that picture. You see what I'm saying? What happened, man? Stay off the south side of Atlanta.
Attorney Ross, you're doing too much. Attorney Ross, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Professor Sagittarius said PR move all the way, publicity stunt. She's not sorry. Her and their mama. Her and her mama are devils. All right, Deliria Washington says your husband took the money. Pal said Tamika says it's a publicity stunt for a new album. I don't think those tears, I'm sorry. If I was in the court of public opinion, she won me over with them tears. I don't know that those tears would say to me that she was an evil person and she intentionally took the money, because to share that you've been in the music game for 20 years and you had to move back home with your mom and you grown, that's pretty vulnerable. No?
I agree 100%.
All right, algorithms, here we go. Let's go to the algorithms. Would you forgive a family member who stole $30,000 from you? Or is
they went on the internet and go ahead.
Or is this proof that mixing business and family is always a bad idea? Let me ask it again. Would you forgive a family member who stole $30,000 from you? Drop down in the chat. Or is this proof that mixing business and family is always a bad idea? Attorney Carter, what were you saying?
I was saying you can fake tears, but you can't fake snot running out your nose. Right? You get the whole snot out your nose, and you know that's sincere.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Where do I get these attorneys from? You know what? I gotta agree with you, though. I gotta agree. You're not gonna go on Instagram and let a whole snot run down your nose.
How does it even happen? Were they getting common royalty checks? Like, was her sister the agent for the group to distribute the money? Like, anything I've ever seen, it goes, the agent gets paid, the lawyer gets paid, and the rest goes separately.
Well, her husband was managing the group.
Yeah,
so it's a possibility that he was taking the money and then not sharing it with the rest of the people.
Sharing it. Now that I can believe. Now that honestly I can believe. If what she said they were going through at the time was financial constriction, I can believe that a husband may have used the funds to pay some outstanding debt that they were going through that was causing them. Because listen, you know, he got a little influx of a little bit of money, and he was like, let's pay the bills first. That I can believe. All right, everybody, let's keep it moving. All right, everybody, listen to me, algorithms, and all the other viewers. The lights aren't liking. Can you please do us all a favor, and especially for our hard-working legal beagles who do this every show without no compensation? They spend their hard-earned time coming on this show and teaching you about the law. Can you please do us all a favor? Can you please hit that like button, please, for tonight? Just a token of appreciation for all of their hard work. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you already subscribed, please hit the share button and invite a friend over to have them hit the like button. Turn on your notifications. And as always, jump down in the chat because we love hearing from you. Next up, oh no, the crybaby Drake. Yep, I called him a crybaby, and what you gonna do about it? Crybaby Drake versus iHeartMedia. Drizzy took legal action against the radio giant for playing the hit Not Like Us without proper licensing. First of all, how did he know? We're going to get back to that. But instead of taking it to trial, guess what? They settled. So did Drake really win, or did iHeartMedia get off easily? All right, Jason, I'm going to throw this to you. How does music licensing loopholes allow radio stations? Because I'm thinking to myself, these radio stations are not newcomers to the industry. They've been doing this for decades. How does licensing loopholes allow radio stations to play songs without properly compensating artists?
So it's not always a question about properly compensating the artist. It has to do with whatever the contractual relationship is between the radio and, you know, whoever is signing it. So Drake might not have gotten it. They may have cut him out. They may have gone over his head. They may have gone. No one knows for sure. The only thing is that I'll tell you that according to a source at iHeartMedia, in exchange for documents that show iHeart did nothing wrong, Drake agreed to drop his petition. No payments were made by anybody. That's the statement that's coming out. So basically it's, look, we got into a little bit of an argument. Each side is taking their stuff and going home. And that's what the settlement seems to say. And even on Drake's legal team, they are not even saying anything like that. They're just saying, we're pleased the parties were able to reach a settlement satisfactory to both sides and have no further comment on this. So some sort of confidential settlement was reached, and no payments were probably made. Each side paying their own attorney's fees. They're probably going to go back, do some sort of accounting, or show that no monies were given. And you know, Drake's going to have to go and try to find another battle to fight.
All right, so listen to me. Let's get to some of these comments. First of all, listen, Attorney Turner, you're going to have to stop this. Attorney Turner says he's crying on my shoulder first. I can't do that. Order in my court. Order in my court. You are not going to throw yourself at the mercy of Drake on my. You're not going to do it. All right, everybody's calling Drake a Karen. Death Guard said Kendrick turned Drake into a bloody Karen.
Since he's great. He's the most sensitive gangster rapper I've ever seen in my life. Like, I grew up like Ice Cube, Eazy-E, like I get
Ice Cube, Ice-T,
like the thing, Biggie, like the things they said then, Oh, and you sued him for what he called you? I get it's offensive, but in that world, hey man.
I totally agree with you, Attorney Cross. I don't understand. Hold on. I don't understand. When you're in the middle of an ass whipping, which is what he's in the middle of, he's in the middle of an entire ass whipping. He's been handed his ass by this man, and it's not going away. This is not a good PR move for Drake.
No.
He looks like JP Mills says Drake is a light-skinned Canadian Karen. Just take the ass whipping. The ass whipping will pass. Go in the booth and produce some good ass music. So once the ass whipping passes, you can then go back to business as usual. You're an international superstar. Why
go somewhere?
He doesn't have faith in the system. So, he doesn't have faith in himself that he's going to fix it. And, the Canadians are an orderly people. And so he thinks that the system should protect him, which is why he pursued it this way.
It looks like a Karen, Attorney Turner. He looks like a bitch. He looks like a bitch. And I'm a Drake fan. I am team light skin every day, all day. But you keep crying over this because you think you're going to be able to legally stop this man from exploding to a freaking superstar in the United States. It's too late. It's too late. He is our new anthem. He is. The song is. It comes on. We immediately relate to it. We immediately dance. Let him have his moment and turn the fucking page. You doing all this legal shit is gonna make me not like you no more.
But judge.
Big problem though is that I was halfway joking. I mean, he is handsome, but the problem is that Drake is turning himself into a joke, right? So it's not just going to be Kendrick. Other people are going to come after him for how he's handled this matter. But to Attorney Ross's point that he made initially, because I'm an old school hip hop head, what you are witnessing here is what happens when people pretend to be gangster rappers and they're not really gangster rappers.
Okay.
He did not grow up in these streets. He has no legit street cred. He was produced by the record company. And so when his feelings got hurt, he went to his mom, but in this case, it was his lawyer, as opposed to Biggie and Tupac, they just would have come out with it.
Right. They shot each other. That's what they would have done. So he did better than that. Let's be clear.
Or they would have taken it to the stage and they would have done it that way.
I know. You take it to the booth. You go in the booth. You drop the vinyl, and you rip.
Does anybody remember Snoop Dogg
with Kendrick's wife? That's how they used to handle it back in the day.
Shaitan, don't you remember Snoop Dogg made that video of him walking through New York, crushing the buildings? He was making fun of Jay-Z. Nas makes Who Made You Look, talking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z comes back with Ether. It was par for the course. You don't go, guess what? You made fun of my mom, so I'm going to go take you to court and sue you.
So I do have to say this, okay? I beat the shit, said neither of them are gangster rappers, just rappers. I'm gonna have to tell you, I ain't never seen a gangster rapper wear bell-bottom jeans.
The whole thing, man. The whole thing is gone, man. It's over.
Your jeans were so tight. I ain't never seen Attorney Carter. Have you ever in your lifetime seen a gangster rapper wear jeans that tight with bell bottoms on? All right, everybody.
I ain't seen one that needed a booster chair to sit at Denny's and tell the truth, but that's beside the point. Here's what I want to say though, in Drake's defense, most of all of this lawsuits now are against UMG, and I would be a little bit mad at UMG too. And here's why: over the last 20 years, he's made them a lot more money than Kendrick made him.
I understand, but that's not how the entertainment.
What have you done for me today?
That's all they care about. They only care about where are you.
And remember, they divided that label up into two parts. He's on one part, and Kendrick Lamar's on the other. So they can go ahead and they can battle this out, and that's what they probably thought they were going to get. They thought they were going to get awesomeness coming from a battle between these two massive headliners, and now they're getting one who's going all in, and the other one who's kind of don't touch me.
All right, really quickly, Sammy Musa said he looked great in those jeans. I bet you did think he did look great. All right. Also, I want to get to. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. G said I can't say champagne poppy because I get this secondhand embarrassment, especially since I grew up in the New York Bronx. Absolutely. I don't know, guys, and I want to definitely give a shout out to Pisces Unicorn. Thank you, Pisces Unicorn, for the super chat. Pisces Unicorn said, thanks for entertaining and more importantly, educating us every week. Again, happy birthday, Attorney Weiss. Pisces Unicorn, I really appreciate that. Means a lot. It really lets us know through the super chat that you guys really enjoy these guys. And now, everybody, guess what? Water's on me. All right, next up. Now let's talk about privilege. All right. And when I say talk about privilege, let's talk about privilege in the justice system. Instagram influencer Summer Weaton was arrested for deadly DUI after killing a pedestrian in a high-speed crash. But the question here is, will Summer Weaton face serious time or will she get celebrity treatment? All right, who are we throwing to on this? All right, let's go to Attorney Carter. Attorney Carter. Sorry, guys. Y'all know I work at a university, so I have to call everybody doctor. Attorney Carter, help me explain this. Given the circumstances, what's the likelihood of Weaton facing serious prison time?
It's a weird story altogether, and so I'm not sure a whole lot. This accident happened in July 4th. All right, it was 4th of July last year, and she just got arrested last week. Okay, she driving drunk, killed a Lyft or Uber driver, a rideshare driver. At the scene, they take her to the hospital. Now, normally what happens is when they take you to the hospital here, they also kind of test your blood. All right, and then if you turn out to be drunk, you wake up with a handcuff on. All right, and you ain't leaving that hospital. You going right to jail. They don't do that. They let her go home for 7 months, and then they say, "Oh, we looked at the surveillance video. We did the calculations of your speed, and we figured out that you've done this thing." They knew that, literally 7 months ago, and I don't know. Maybe they fans. Maybe they own her. Maybe they own her page. I don't know. It's weird to me that it took 7 months. That said, it's possible that she's been working with her attorneys. They've been trying to work out some deal. Chances are excellent. This isn't a normal case. She's probably not going to get 10 years.
All right, Attorney
under arrest, accused of driving under.
I'm sorry, Attorney Ross. Really quick before we show this video, guys. This is a very important question for me. Okay, and this is where the question becomes: is it privilege or not? Right. So let's go to the people whose family was affected, because there's a family on the other side of this bullshit where they have a dead family member that can't be brought back under any circumstances based on her behavior and her actions, right? So my question is, how strong is the case for the victim's family to file a wrongful death lawsuit?
Very, very, very strong. I mean, first of all, you're not going to be able to file that civil lawsuit until the criminal lawsuit is over. You can negotiate with her insurance company, right? So she had Progressive, Geico, State Farm, and maybe she was smart enough to have $1 million policy on the car, and you can negotiate with them separately. And if that doesn't cover your damages, then you sue her outside of court. But you can't do any of that until this is over. So, having litigated a bunch of these, believe it or not, as crazy as this sounds, it is not uncommon for this type of investigation to take a while. It's not uncommon. By the time they draw the blood,
after it takes a while, is justice ever really served, or does the legal system allow it to be flushed out and it's like a spank on the hand and she will be back to?
She's got a problem, because what happens is, okay, Algorators, here's your DUI, serious bodily injury or death law, right? In California, it's a little unique. You're required to blow, right? There's different types of blood draws, right? So there's a procedure to draw blood when a person's in a hospital, okay? once you draw that blood, it's preserved in a lab until the chemist, the lab, can get to it. That doesn't always happen in a day or so. And given the wildfire situation in Southern California, it's not surprising that they had a backlog of things to catch up to. So once they actually look at that blood and they say, oh, her blood came back 1.1, I don't know if they announced what it was yet, over the legal limit, right? Now they have probable cause to arrest her for a DUI. They didn't have that at the scene. Second of all, when a person is in a car accident, they smelled alcohol on her breath. The cops noted it, if it was alcohol. But they are really concerned for the life of everyone. So the criminal investigation takes what's called a back seat to the health of everyone, which is the way it should be, right? But once they sort that out, they got her. She's looking at a lot of time, man. I don't think it's going to be a slap on the wrist. I don't think it's going to be probation. That person died. If they can prove that you were impaired, she probably will go to prison for a little while.
Bailiff, can you put the picture of that accident back up? I got to tell you, I don't have empathy for anybody that's driving under the influence and taking the life of somebody else. I just don't have it. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care what you do for a living. It's not right. You take a life, you need to give me one. I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth type of guy. I'm trying to get better, but we're not there yet. Okay, algoritmers, if this was...
Media influencer under arrest accused of driving under the influence and killing a rideshare driver last year in Malibu. Summer Weaton, who has more than 100,000 followers on Instagram, was driving on PCH last 4th of July. Her car crossed the center divider and crashed into a vehicle driven by Martin Ogeki, going the opposite direction. Weaton surrendered to sheriff's deputies yesterday. She was booked on suspicion of driving under the influence and causing great bodily injury.
And you're telling me, wait a minute, hold on. And you're telling me that this happened last year, but she just now is having to face her consequences a couple of weeks ago?
She's had to disclose her location. Her lawyer's been in communication with the local sheriff to try to diffuse this. If she hired the right lawyer, that lawyer's been working on trying to keep her case out of this, but it's inevitable. And that lawyer already knows things about the case now. And believe it or not, they could have a plea agreement already worked out by the time she walked in there. You never know. I mean, based upon the evidence.
She also stayed off social media for like 3 months, which I'm guarantee was PR telling her, the attorneys. But my question is, why was she arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence as opposed to just not DUI?
California has a weird code on that, and you have to forgive me, algorithms. I didn't study it, but when we come back again, I will know more about it. But we looked at this before, where they have a DUI and they have a suspicion of DUI. Could be some of that California liberal nonsense that makes no sense to me.
But you know what? I will tell you something that I enjoy. Let me tell you something I enjoy about California. It's a double-edged sword. They have very strong gun laws, right? So if you misuse a gun in any form, you're
really?
Yeah.
Unless you're married to Rihanna.
Unless you're married to Rihanna. However,
and it's a prop gun, of course.
Listen, however, if you drive drunk, they will give you a pass like no other pass. Yep. Only Tiffany Haddish can be driving under the influence, parked at a stop sign, car not moving, and that woman get off for not having a DUI. All right, really quick, Brenda O, bailiff, can you please put it up? Brenda, thank you so much. Great show, Al. Love all the attorneys. They all bring something unique to the show. Learning while being entertained. You're absolutely right. Brenda, thank you so much for that. G said, I worked with someone years ago who killed her entire family and others. They called it an accident. She was drunk. That's just that does not make me feel good. Val Rice says she committed a crime. She got to do the time. I agree. Sammy Musa said the family is suing her.
Nobu, yep.
Nobu, an entertainment company who sponsored the event. But that's pretty smart. Sue everybody. Sue everybody that you can. I hope the family is compensated. Me too. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for the likes that you shared. We got above 100. First time on the show. But can I please get a little bit more? Can you do me a favor? The other 100 that have not hit the like button, do you mind hitting the like button for me, please? All right. Also, please hit the subscribe button. If you already subscribed, please hit the share button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. And as always, you are really active in the chat, and we really appreciate it. Next up, oh my gosh, I got to tell you, I can't wait to hear your narrative on this, Attorney Ross. Miami Heat, he's not there anymore, though. Jimmy Butler is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. How did this happen? He was like Miami's heart. Everybody loved this guy. A multimillionaire is skipping out on rent. His landlord is suing him for unpaid rent and property damages. So is Butler really out here dodging bills when he's making gazillions? Or is he just a bad tenant is this just a bad tenant landlord dispute? Attorney Ross, I'm gonna go to you because you're down there in Miami. Is Butler truly trying to skip out on his rent? And how can the landlord recover the full amount plus damages?
Oh, he's gonna recover that because Jimmy Butler just signed $100+ million extension in California. But the thing about it is, first of all, the rent was $130,000 a month.
Woo!
People don't understand. I am telling you that it's entirely possible to make $50 million a year and have financial problems. Playing for the Heat. Shaitan shaking her head. She can't believe it.
That don't make no sense, Attorney Turner. That don't make no sense. First of all,
we have a video for this?
He only has one child. He's not even married. He don't have a wife.
Look at
He's
that.
He's got one child and he's not even married. I'm done.
Judge,
If he was married, his wife would have looked out for his money. That's the problem. He's young, gambles. He probably hanging out at the strip club, and ones do add up, algoriters. So don't be putting him in too many G-strings.
No, believe it or not, Jimmy was a different dude. He went to bed at 7 o'clock at night. He wasn't out late, but he just had like if you read the complaint, like he left the air conditioning running and mold grew on the wall because he didn't close the door. He just didn't take care of his house, like according to the complaint. Like he caused $127,000 in damages. Like he just didn't take care of the house.
Well, think about it. Let's hold on. Let's put this all in perspective.
What's on his shorts?
That's what I'm saying.
We're gonna get back to that. Hold on. Let's put this all in perspective. If you're paying $130,000 a month for a home, that home is worth multiple $1 million. So a cost of $130,000 for a dysfunctioning air condition is not that big of a deal. I hate to say it, because this is the deal. You give these young black men who come from nothing something, all of a sudden you give them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and you expect them to be responsible like they've been rich their entire lives. He don't know that leaving the air. He just glad to have air conditioning.
Your Honor, please.
Let's be clear.
Stupid. He's not that
clear. I don't care. All I'm saying is you cannot expect for them to understand what it means to be ultra wealthy when they've never had it. They don't come from it. They never had it. They don't know. This is all a new experience for them. And I think it's fair to say a little bit of negligence on leaving an air conditioner on is not you dragging him through the press for unpaid.
Yeah, but
that's not a $50 million problem. He didn't lose his $50 million because he caused $127,000 in damage and had this obscene rent, right? That's still a lot left over. So the real question becomes, did he have a crack problem? I mean, I know y'all said
no, he's not that guy. He's not that dude.
But where'd the money go?
He has it. He has it. He just hadn't paid it yet.
He has it. It's just his understanding of what he did wrong, Attorney Turner. It doesn't register in his head. It doesn't register in his head that he pays $130,000 in rent a month, and he has to monitor what happens with an air conditioner. That's
but that's on the move out. So look. The plaintiff, the landlord, is seeking $257,000 in unpaid rent, and
that's a different story.
And asking to keep the $130,000 security deposit. Security deposit goes towards things like that, and if he broke a chair or if he did something, that's what the security deposit goes for. But he still has $257,000 in rent that he did not pay. So you're getting him twice, right? What he did to the damage of the place and all that, that's the 130. 257 is he didn't pay rent for 2 months. And again, to have rent of $130,000 a month, that's a $40 million property.
Absolutely.
Is it really?
Really quickly, hold on, really quickly. I want to ask this question. Huh? I want to ask this question really quickly. How we know he got the money,
right?
So,
maybe.
Come on, attorney.
He's got it. He's just signed that contract.
I'm just saying, not even that. Okay,
what happened to his shorts?
Attorney Ross, let me ask you this. Am I the only one that has peeped every single individual that was highlighted on that Netflix special? You know the Netflix special I'm talking about? Where they highlighted the 5 athletes, LeBron, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, the white dude, and who else? I can't remember who the fifth person is. Every single one of them are in the deepest turmoil of their careers, including LeBron.
Yep.
Including LeBron. There's something in the milk ain't clean. Either being highlighted as what were they named? The 5 something
the
5.
The starting 5.
The starting LeBron, 5. Where
Jimmy
they were
Butler,
considered
Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, DeMontis Sabonis, and Jason Tatum.
Right. They were described as the best in the industry in the in the NBA. Something in the milk ain't clean. Ever since that Netflix special came out, when they signed up on it, all of their trash has come to Front Street.
Let me give you a little perspective on Jimmy Butler as to why this might not be as crazy as it sounds. Other than the green pool, I don't get a green pool. I got a pool outside. Trust me, I had to drain it 2 weeks ago. It ain't that big, but it's blue. All right. So but anyway, but the thing is this though, Jimmy Butler, we have to understand, for the last 2 months has been wanting to get out of Miami. He's been fighting and yelling, and they hadn't traded him. So chances are excellent that the lease overstayed. And he said, "I'm not going to re-sign this lease up." And then
I'm not gonna be there.
Out of here. Yep, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Now, as far as the other fools, I can't speak to, but Jimmy, I got no problem not peeing in the back of his pants. I don't know how you pee on the back of your pants, by the way. That's the thing that someone got to explain to me. Algorithm, please explain to me how you get pee stains on the back of your pants as a man. Is he chicken? I don't want to know.
Somebody had some nachos and he sat down. I do think that Abby makes a good point. Dark and Love hair relaxer is expensive. And so with him keeping that big doobie he had, that may be where the money went. Like, I don't know.
Please stop.
He came out and said
that he was cheating on his wife and that the other
He ain't got a wife. He's not married.
He got a girlfriend. He got a baby mama.
He's not married.
He came out and said
he's not married.
He came out and said, I quote, "I can't find my joy playing basketball in Miami." There's not one person in America who makes $52 million a year and get to live in that house who can't find some sort of joy.
So maybe
all right, Deaf God.
You can find a friend whose name Joy, and she can come over, right?
Joy, come on over. Go on.
Order the court for a second, please. Deaf God said Butler was getting that booty clapped.
There it is, right there, buddy.
He said Butler was getting that booty clapped. That wasn't Pete. All right, Attorney Turner.
It looks like Little Nicky, Adam Sandler's character.
I will tell you this though: when he did that press and curl or whatever you call that press, whatever, it did take his career to the absolute next level.
Judge, you know enough about Pat Riley from the Miami, the Laker days, where this right here isn't going to work. It's not going to work.
Absolutely. Ain't going to work. But what
am I the only one who's hearing Jermaine Stewart? You don't have to take your clothes off. Am I the only one hearing that?
What it did do was take his PR to the next level, which made him think in his mind, because your PR is never even to your reality, right? His PR took him to a space that his reality could not sustain. All right, everybody, let's keep going. Next up, oh God, Luigi Mangione. And finally, we have a criminal case shaking the justice system. Luigi Mangione is accused of murder, but his lawyer is arguing that his arrest was illegal. You know, this sounds like something Brian Ross would do. He would find that one out. He would find that one out and ride it all the way home. Could this technicality let a potential killer walk free? Attorney Ross, go ahead and take it. If the police conducting an illegal search and seize. What impact does that have on the prosecutor's case?
First of all, I want everyone to know that not only when I ride it out, I also have abs like this young man. Shatan Turner has been asking for this for months. I don't want to do it. I know she's been going through some things, so it might mess it up. But at the right time, Shatan, I'm gonna put it back. Put the picture back up.
I need order in my court.
Okay, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get a pass.
I'll come to Miami and go on the yacht. So when we go on the yacht,
no, baby, it ain't a yacht. Now we on the boat. We on a boat, not a yacht, honey.
So it's a river raft. It's a river raft.
Hey, listen, Jason, it's gonna be a kayak with 12 Bud Lights. You better enjoy it.
I thought we were under oath here because Attorney Ross is lying his ass off. That's perjury. Thirst trapping perjury. I don't know. That's aggravated perjury.
Yeah, kayak with 12 Bud Lights.
What is that? Someone put it in the comments. That's a puffy party. That's a P. Diddy party.
Cameron and I are going on somebody's yacht. So
y'all all right. Okay. The criminal law today is taught by a case called Wong Sun, WONG space SON. Wong Sun stands for the product that anything taken from an illicit investigation is poisonous. Poisonous. You're driving your Honda Accord. You got a little cutie with a booty in the passenger seat. You're headed to the house. You got a little marijuana, and the cop pulls you over. The cop's stupid and says, "I pulled you over because you're black." Everything they discover about you is now out of the investigation. So if the police investigated something and they found it without the proper investigation, so to speak, which could be any number of things, that product that they learned from there is now illegal. It's not allowed to come into your investigation. It's called
even if it's there.
Root of the poison. The criminal. Any one of your lawyers who took criminal law 101 can attest to it. Wong Sun 101.
Fruit of the poisonous tree. You're not allowed to take it.
Gone.
Yeah, and let's be clear here. Go ahead.
No, please.
About what happened, what they're claiming. So he's in the McDonald's just chilling, right? By the way, weird. All right. If I'm killing somebody, I'm going somewhere nice in the McDonald's. I deserve that. I earned that. He put work in. All right.
You going to Wendy's, right?
Exactly. I'm at least going to Cheesecake Factory, right? But he's in the McDonald's. Someone says, "Hey, you look like that dude on TV." They call in, the police come, they start asking questions, and here's where it has problem is. They grab his backpack that he has with him, they search it, they find the gun, what else? The gloves, and also the manifesto, right? But he says, "I'm gonna kill everybody all the time." Now, the thing about this weird to me is that the police possibly did not have probable cause to search his backpack. But what they could have done, and the right thing to do, would have been to take him to jail, take the backpack with them, and then get a warrant to actually search and to be able to legally prove that they had reasonable suspicion. The thing that's bizarre to me, though, is who in the hell, all right, would do something like that and then carry the evidence around with them for 3 days?
I know. That don't make sense to me either.
That judge, what Attorney Carter just said is brilliant. That case law comes from the very famous state of Florida, where all bad things come from when it comes to
right, absolutely.
Yeah, it all comes,
including governors. Yes.
Everything, the attorney generals. So there was a young man who was standing on the corner, young black kid standing on the corner of Miami, and someone gave a tip that he had a gun. Well, they went there and searched him, and in fact, he did have a gun. But the question became, was the tip reliable? Ultimately, this case made it from Miami-Dade County all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, and they came up with a rule called tipster law. So if the tip that led to him being stopped wasn't reliable to this body of case law that comes out of Florida, there's a chance that everything after that search could be suppressed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
Yes.
Jeez, we learning the law tonight off of all of this dysfunction.
Tipster law.
You guys have taught me.
I got those apps. I got those apps.
Okay, Brian, what I'm not going to do, and I'm your good friend, is I'm not going to lie to the public. I'm not going to lie to the public. Now, you can ride that Peloton that you got in the laundry room until your legs roll off, brother. But you do not, son. I can't do it. All right, everybody, this is the part of the show where we go to you to figure out the verdict of the people that were charged.
Attorney Ross, you got a 6-pack in the fridge. We're good.
Thanks, man.
First up, is Universal Music guilty or not guilty from stealing Angie Stone's money? Attorney Turner, what say you?
Oh man, love Angie, but I gotta find them not guilty right now. I need more information.
All right, Attorney Carter.
They're guilty. And I don't know if it was Angie's money, but I know they stole somebody's money. They owe me some money. They owe me some money for those damn Columbia records I bought in the 70s. And they only had the good record, and then you had to spend $12.95 a month for that crap after that. Y'all owe me money. Give me my money.
Attorney Weiss.
I think not guilty.
All right, Attorney Brian Ross, what say you?
Guilty. In the court of public opinion, they're guilty.
I'm going to say, you know what? This is what I will always say, even with Patti LaBelle. When you've been in the business that long, stop nickel and diamond your talent. Give them their money. They've been in the business for 40 years. They are still out there trying to make it happen. Give Angie Stone and her family her money. Universal Music, guilty. Guilty as charged. All right, next up. Oh, Lord, here we go. Tamika Foster. Is Latasha guilty or not guilty of stealing that lady money? Attorney Brian Ross, what say you?
She's guilty. I don't care about your tears or your snot.
Ooh.
You might not have been malicious about it. You might have really needed it, but you took it. What yours?
Attorney Weiss?
Guilty.
Attorney Carter?
Guilty, but with an explanation. We didn't read further and realize there was a whole family dispute. At one point, all right, this is how bad Tamika was. Tamika, you're not innocent here, because at one point, Latasha told you to kiss her ass, and you said, what ass you got to kiss? So before your sister flat ass, then she's snotting on the Instagram. I'm going to give her some benefit of doubt. Just roll yourself and kiss and make up.
Oh, my God, Attorney Turner, please take us out of this.
Well, I mean, Attorney Carter's right. Like, you can't be black and tell your sister she ain't got no ass. And I mean, those are fighting words right there. But as it relates to the theft, I got to say I'm a softie. I was persuaded by the tears and the sincerity. I think the check got misplaced, and this is all a misunderstanding. So,
all right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Corner. We're going to find Latasha. If not you, I'm going to find your husband guilty. Guilty of stealing your sister's money. Now, you know, y'all were all on EBT, and she needed her money. Hey. Give her money back. And if you didn't take it, then you should have proof, and you should have already shown it by now that you didn't take it. So,
by the way, can I quote Johnny Cochran here?
What?
If snot come out of her nose, you must forgive those hoes.
Oh. Attorney Carter. Say it one more time. If what?
If snot come out of her nose, you must forgive that hoe.
Next up is Drake guilty or not guilty of being a Karen? Attorney Ross, what say you?
Yes, he's absolutely guilty of being a Karen.
Attorney
you said
Weiss?
you're a gangster rapper. Stop it.
Right, Attorney Weiss?
I think they're now going to have a new thing. Instead of calling everybody Karens, they're going to call them Drakes.
Ooh, Attorney Carter.
He's guilty.
Attorney Turner.
He's guilty of being fine and a little whiny, but he can call me or Danielle Cameron, and we can help him over it.
And you'll fake snot for him.
She'll put on a slip for Drake, baby. All right, I'm Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and we're gonna find Drake guilty of being a crybaby. Brother, let me tell you something. It's not. You don't have to do this. All you have to do is ride the wave out and be the international superstar that you are. That'll never change. The only thing that's making that change is you now are a crybaby in the eyes of every fan that you used to have. All right, next up, we're going to go to the Instagram influencer Summer Weaton. Is she guilty or not guilty of taking the life of someone unnecessarily? Attorney Ross?
On a criminal side, I need to see the evidence. So right now, I'm gonna give her not guilty. You know,
Attorney Weiss?
Oh, I see enough right there. I'm saying guilty.
Attorney Turner?
Yeah, I'm going to find her guilty in the court of public opinion. I hope.
Attorney Carter?
She guilty and about to get me divorced because I'm going on her Instagram page as soon as this is over. But so I plead the fifth.
You know what, Attorney Carter? If you don't, you and Turner, y'all need to chew on some freaking ice when y'all do this show. I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And this is what I cannot do. I cannot find somebody who's drinking excessively and getting behind the wheel and taking the life of an innocent bystander. Guilty. Guilty is charged. I don't care what the circumstances are. You were drinking. You caused the crash. You took a life. You need to serve your time. Next up, Jimmy Butler. Is he guilty or not guilty of skipping out on his rent? Attorney Turner, what say you?
He's clearly guilty of a bad fashion choice. I mean, that hairdo went out like in the 70s, but he's also guilty of not paying his rent.
All right, Attorney Carter.
If you look like, all right, Jermaine Stewart, all right, what can you really expect? All right, I'm surprised he didn't leave cherry wine all over the place because he just want to have a good time. So not guilty.
You know these algorithms have no idea what that reference is, but I love it.
I know you guilty for renting to Jermaine Stewart. He ain't had a hit since 1983.
They weren't born in 83. Attorney Weiss, what say you? Is he guilty or not guilty of skipping out on his rent?
He is guilty of looking like Adam Sandler and Little Nicky. He is guilty of not paying rent at that $10 million property.
All right, Attorney Ross.
He's guilty.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And come on, Jimmy. You're guilty, brother. You got too much negative press. Cut the check. And I'm going to tell you this. Cut the check on everything you owe because you're in such a bad rotation. Now's the time to get you for all your wrongs that you have ever done. And now everybody's going to
stop wearing white shorts.
Nobody's going to feel sorry for a young black man who makes over $100 million, sir, and can't pay your rent. It's never going to happen. All right, last up, Luigi Mangione. Is he guilty or not guilty? Or better yet, is the police guilty or not guilty of not reading him his Miranda rights? Attorney Turner, what say you?
You know, this is a tough one because I am pro the little guy as it relates to the, process, the criminal process. I'm going to have to say that the police might be guilty. I'm not sure if I can't really decide, but they might be guilty. I need to learn more.
All right, Attorney Carter.
Photos.
Attorney Carter.
From what I could tell, they might have messed up. And it's a big problem, by the way, because the only thing, you take out the gun, all right, all you got is fingerprints showing that he was in New York, and a few people saying, oh, I saw his fine ass at the hotel. That's not enough to get you for murder, because I've been in New York, and I've been fined a lot of times, and I haven't been charged for murder but 3 or 4 times.
Attorney Weiss.
I think he's guilty of not hiring Attorney Ross, which he should have done in the first place, but he's also guilty of getting some good attorneys and using the law. So I think this is going to be one to watch, and I think his case has some problems.
Attorney Ross,
everyone has rights in our country.
I understand, but how could such miscarriage happen?
Judge, I have taught police classes on Fourth Amendment search and seizure, and they still get it wrong. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't explain it. This is why we get paid so well.
All right, guilty or not guilty?
This is why someday. So he's the police are guilty. I think it's gonna ride. The question is, honestly, though, Judge, not to belabor the point, is there going to be a judge who's strong enough to really pull the trigger on? That's the ultimate question. That's the real question. You can get the law right, but is the judge going to say, I got excluded. That's a big moment. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Or
I gotta
talk
tell
the
you, I'm
entire
the judge here. I'm the judge here, Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and I gotta tell you, he has to be found guilty. He took another man's life.
What about the public opinion? Think about the commentary, as disgusting as it was, of the people who were saying
he was too fine.
Thank you for finally doing what. Like, there's a lot of people that really don't mind that man being dead, and then wish a few more of them would fall off too. Sadly.
Oh, this is a tough one for me. There's no way I can find this young man not guilty after he intentionally plotted. This was premeditated murder. He had a plot and a plan.
Remember your question, though. The question you asked were the police guilty of messing up? That's the question you asked.
All right, yep, they're guilty. All right, everybody. Thank you again.
That was easy.
And there you have it, folks. Tonight's docket was full of controversy, conspiracy, and courtroom drama. From industry payback to stolen family money, from music licensing battles to deadly DUI privilege, and of course, a potential murder suspect looking for a legal loophole. We've seen how the law and pop culture often collides. Justice isn't always about what's fair, it's about what can be proven. Damn, that's so weird. But now it's your turn. Drop your verdicts in the comment and let us know who's guilty, who's innocent, and who just got away with something really bad. Until next time, stay informed, stay opinionated, and remember, the court of public opinion never rests. Court is now adjourned. Thank you all for watching.
Happy birthday, Jason.